Hello, this is Pastor Scott Cruz, and this is The Deeper Rock. And today we are taking a look at evangelism and different kinds of evangelism. You know, evangelism has been the focus of my life and thoughts and everything since I was about 13 years old. I had my first evangelistic outreach. I called it a revival party, and I invited all these kids to my house, and they sat on the lawn, and I preached and had an altar call, and so I've been doing different kinds of evangelism for a long time, and I'm 38 now, so I do the math. It's a bunch of years anyway that I've been doing evangelism, and so I thought I would go through some different types of evangelism today, and I thought that I would, as I go through them, I'm gonna just kind of give my thoughts on them. Now, I should preface this by saying that I've seen all of these ways of evangelism work from one time or another, and I've also seen people who do these things well. Some of these things are not a good fit for me, and some of these things are a better fit for other people. But I just thought I would go through some of these to kind of give you a sense. Number one is the door-to-door. People go door-to-door and do evangelism, and different ways of doing that. And I've done that. I don't like it. Personally, you get grouped in with others who do it and cults that do it and things. And I don't know about you, but I think our culture has changed. It's not quite as natural to walk up to somebody's door as it was a bunch of years ago in years gone by. Now that, you kind of expect people to call first. And so if someone comes to my door, I'm not ready for them, my house isn't clean, that's not a good environment for someone coming to my door to try to win me to something. So I don't know. So anyway, that's one. Another one is doing concerts. I've done lots of concerts where you go out to a park and you put on a band and it's loud and you try to get people in and then you preach. And I've done some that went pretty good, and I've done some that were horrible, where there's nobody there, just me, the band, and stuff, and there's kind of stories there. I've also done some, like a Heaven's Gates Hell's Flames, where you do a production and you bring lots of people in. There was one time when we did a Heaven's Gates and Hell's Flames at the church I was at before, and on my desk at the end of the week, I had almost 1,000 decision cards. How do you follow up on 1,000 decision cards? Another thing that I've done evangelism-wise, we used to do the spot back then, and this would be, it cost between $2,000 and $3,000 a month outreach to young people, and we would fill the place with young people, and it had some impact. There's also street witnessing. I got this guy that he's a Facebook friend of mine, and he's just incredible when it comes to street witnessing. Just that scares the daylights out of me. When my wife and I were dating, she got to see just how bad I was at street witnessing one time. We were supposed to go out and do some stuff, and he just hey, if you died tonight, where would you go to heaven? And that just that just terrifies the living daylights out of me. I can do it. I grit my teeth and do it, but. The other way is a real bold way of doing evangelism. I was with an evangelist one time, and he stood up and preached in a restaurant, and I wanted to crawl under a table, to be perfectly honest with you. Another mode of evangelism that I've seen is where you just pray really hard, and then God brings people to church, and you see it happen. And so there's different ways of doing evangelism, and none of them are wrong, but not all of them are a good fit for me, and in my opinion, and I'm not saying I'm right, this is just what I happen to think after having done it for a long time. The only evangelism that really works, that lasts, is evangelism that ties people into the church, and they become a part of the church. And all of these things can do that, but none of these things work if nobody ever walks across the room. And as I look at Scripture, I see Jesus giving us an example of how to do some evangelism. He walks across the room and touches somebody's life who wasn't, inside of his social circle at the time. And I want to be like Jesus, and I really believe that it works the best. All these things are good at The Rock. We may even do some of this someday. But the primary way that we want to win people to the Lord is by living like Christians, loving people for who they are, and then letting the Lord grow them, and having a church that hopefully is something that they can come and check out that isn't too intimidating. So anyway, that's Evangelism Day 1. May the Lord richly bless you. I hope to see you in church on Sunday.